you see today that also the combination of greenhouse and vertical farm or indoor farm, is that more common than it used to be? Because, you know, there used to be a clear distinction that, you know, greenhouses were a separate business, and then CEA or controlled environment agriculture had also this kind of vertical farm part, which was very small. And what do you think today is happening? Is there a mix going on right now in your view?
Yeah, definitely. It's going much more to going to each other, because
Okay.
in many cases, when we look from a customer perspective, it's a different solution for the same problem.
Yeah.
To have more local production, and the output in most cases is also the same. Of course,
Yeah.
with his own dynamics. So from a customer perspective, but it should be close to each other. I think it was the reason that it has always been separated is mostly because it was driven by technology push. That certain companies were designing and developing vertical farms, and there were simply different companies than who did the horticulture or the greenhouse projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of greenhouse builders were also quite skeptic about indoor farming. They say it's not feasible, it's not going to work. We at Certhon, we always did it together.
Right.
We do not focus, because the term indoor farming or growing without daylight or vertical farm, there are a lot of disciplines below that. Where we look from I think from already quite some years, we also have a specialism in building and designing research facilities. So we did a lot of research chambers for the seed breeders, even for chemical companies, or that's also a way of indoor farming. That's also a segment, and we are now building the first big scale indoor farm in the Middle East. So in the Gulf region, where we're going to grow on 5,000 square meters. So we're speaking about ground coverage. We're going to grow beef tomatoes there. Yeah, that's not vertical farming. Yeah, you can say a tomato is growing vertical, but so that's something else. But there are a lot of disciplines under on the vertical farming. But when we look from a customer perspective, in that case, we also compared it. Does the customer needs a high-tech greenhouse with artificial cooling, for example? Or in this case, is an indoor farm a better solution? So when we look from that perspective, and then it's almost necessary to bring it closely together. Maybe when you look, what we see vertical farming, in most cases, we see it more like urban farming, what you do in a city. Because vertical, in most cases, you do because there's a shortage of space.
Right.
Our philosophy is for mega cities or for big cities, there is always space outside the city. So we are focusing more on that part of the business and not too much on the inside growing of a city. When you want to grow inside, and there is definitely also a market for that, but then it's more urban farming, and then it's more connecting the consumer with the way how to produce it, and then that's a different segment. And I think that part is more separated from the part I just explained, if you understand.
Yeah,